What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're gonna go over 10 times villains defeated the superheroes. Before we get on the video, if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and let's get straight on the video with number 10, Venom. Venom has been known to be a raging and completely brutal supervillain. The fact that he's a symbiote from outer space is cool, but what's even cooler is how the writers took Venom's immense popularity and turned it into him becoming more of an anti-hero. However, in order to do this, the beef between him and Spidey had to settle down. This is where we see Venom defeat the Wall Crawler. After working together to fight Carnage, Spider-Man saves Venom's ex-wife. In return, Venom suggests a truce. If he doesn't go after the web-slinger, then Spider-Man doesn't go after him either. What's even crazier is that the two agree to this. This totally goes against Peter Parker's morals because there's no way that he would just let the symbiote roam the streets. Nevertheless, this was done to give a reason for Venom to have his own story, so I guess it kinda makes sense. In the end, Spider-Man was defeated in a sense when his morals were broken over a truce. Number 9, Superboy Prime. Any variation of the Man of Steel or anyone remotely close to him is extremely hard to kill, and Superboy Prime was no different. Although considered to be heroic on some accounts, many events made fans decide that this character was in fact the villain. Specifically, in Infinite Crisis, we see Superboy Prime go on a total rampage, and he literally punched the multiverse that altered the lives of hundreds. In addition to this, he actually kills Connor Kent and Kal-El, which is Earth 2's alteration of Superman. He even goes to Earth 15 and kills the Superman there, and afterwards goes as far as killing his wife and unborn child. The ruthlessness and violence of his character does not fit his childish name one bit. Number 8, the Joker. The Joker has defeated his arch nemesis, Batman, a number of times, but the one time we are talking about today is considerably the most artistic. In Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight, Heath Ledger put on a stellar performance as the crazed clown in a film that will be remembered for decades. The end result, believe it or not, is the Joker winning. Take a step back and consider the fact that the Joker didn't care about money and that he was more interested in breaking the Caped Crusader's image and mental state. In the end, sure, Batman captured the Prince of Crime, but the villain has successfully tormented and absolutely terrorized the citizens of Gotham City. Harvey Dent is dead, and Batman is exiled from the city he devoted his life to protect. No matter what it looks like, we can only imagine the smile on the Joker's face knowing he is the one responsible for all of this. Number 7, Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor has been known to use his high intelligence to his advantage when causing chaos and destruction. But out of thousands of times he has tried to defeat Superman, he has failed on almost all of them except twice. Of course, these times were not in canon, but nonetheless they were written, so that technically means Lex Luthor did kill Superman twice. The first time, Luthor discovers a cure for cancer, which earns Superman's trust. With this so-called trust, the villain takes the opportunity to strap the Man of Steel down, and he shoots him with the kryptonite ray that kills him. On the second account, in All-Star Superman, Lex Luthor gives Superman lethal doses of radiation that eventually takes his life. Number 6, Darkseid. Darkseid is a very popular supervillain that appears in the DC comics every so often. One of his more iconic and recognizable abilities is his use of Omega Energy. The villain is able to shoot Omega beams that are very lethal when effectively used. This can be seen in Final Crisis number 6, when Batman appears to die when encountering Darkseid. With the weapon made on Apocalypse, the Dark Knight shoots Darkseid in the chest with a bullet that is made of radion, and at the same exact time, Darkseid uses his Omega Sanction against our hero. It appears that he has killed Batman, but in reality he sent his consciousness into multiple parallel worlds. Nonetheless, Darkseid defeated the protagonist in a way that only he could. Number 5, Green Goblin. Out of hundreds of Spider-Man comics to be published, arguably, Ultimate Spider-Man was one of the best ones to be made in more recent history. The reasoning behind this is the action and emotionally packed, well-written storyline. The writers were not afraid to do what other writers couldn't when it came to the fate of the friendly neighborhood Spidey: kill him off. There is a moment in the comics where readers see the Sinister Six and none other than a resurrected version of the dreaded Green Goblin. To make a long story short, Peter did what everyone expected him to do and put his life above everyone else. Dying by protecting his family, readers see the emotional imagery and read the heart-wrenching dialogue. The web-slinger says that he finally made up for the one time he couldn't save Uncle Ben. Number 4, Doomsday. Clearly, Superman is no stranger to be taken down by his foes. In the 1992 storyline, The Death of Superman, Well, it's pretty easy to imagine what transpires. What's even more revealing is the full title for this arc actually had the words "and return" in it, meaning that the Man of Steel's demise was only temporary, as you'd probably expect. While trying to prevent the immensely powerful and mysterious villain Doomsday from destroying the United States, the two clearly met their match. The resulting clash between the two titans of the comic book world led to both of their apparent deaths. In the aftermath of this tragic loss of the world, multiple newcomers claimed to be the new Superman, but of course, nothing lives up to the real thing. Eventually, the real Superman made his return. Number 3, Deathstroke. Slade was able to handle the Justice League surprisingly well for the two considerably important handicaps he was sporting during their battle. Hired as a mercenary to protect Dr. Light from the superhero team who was trying to pursue him, Deathstroke did some impressive work against the League without the use of his eye or any superpowers at all. That's right, somehow the near-normal human was able to hold off his opponents using strategy, at least long enough for Dr. Light to make an escape, which was all he needed to do. Although the tide of the battle eventually swings in the favor of the heroes, a Nova attack from Dr. Light allows Slade to escape with his life and to continue his antagonistic career. Number 2, Ozymandias. With Watchmen, it's really quite hard to tell who the villains and heroes are. For many in the audience, however, the masked vigilante Rorschach was the true force for good, unwilling to compromise for anything short of a perfect world with no evil. This is where the biggest conflict comes into play, as his strict morals clash against those of his old teammate Ozymandias. In an attempt to stop his genocidal plan to reunite the world, Rorschach makes one last effort to stand up for what he believes in, but is confronted by the extremely powerful Dr. Manhattan in the process, an ally of Ozymandias. Needless to say, the vigilante is no match for Manhattan's powers and is evaporated on the spot. The assumed villain of the movie, Ozymandias, gets his way as his opposing force is eliminated, and he is allowed to continue on with his plan. And number 1, Red Skull. Despite Marvel's Captain America Civil War being such a smash hit at the box office, many fans wanted to see source material to see what actually happened according to the comics. What really occurred was a big surprise. After the events of Civil War, readers see Steve Rogers awaiting to stand for trial once he surrendered to Iron Man. Then out of the blue, Sharon Carter, who is mind-controlled, kills Captain America. To the characters in the storyline, Cap was dead. But in reality, the device used to kill him was developed by Red Skull, and it did something more than end the hero's life. Instead, the first Avenger's consciousness was put into an endless loop. As always, thanks for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Make sure to follow me on Twitter @Valenplana, and I'll see you all later.